Namaste. So, family, sky goddess, back at you discussing karmic connections. Now, karmic connections aren't necessarily sexual, but these are relationships in general that, you know, whose sole purpose is to teach us, okay, restrict us, discipline us, um, and pretty much are not comforting. It's not a place of comfort, and a lot of times not a place of peace. These relationships are, like I said, very restrictive, but the only comfort there are in karmic connections is the discipline they teach us to, groom us and shape us into shaping us into, being better human beings, better beings overall, because we are spiritual beings having human experiences, and we will have other experiences, okay, in other forms, on other celestial bodies, okay, in other dimensions, in other, solar systems, possibly other universes, okay. So these, it's good. Discipline is good. You can find comfort in discipline when you're disciplined enough, okay. And they teach us, a level of, they give us a level of awareness, um being, knowing when to take things serious, which is a form of balance. Capricorn precedes Aquarius, and, you know karmic connections, that's Capricorn frequency. Those connections are governed by Saturn, karmic, Capricorn frequency, okay. And with the Saturn retrograde, which I spoke about in the previous video to this one, um, a lot of us returned to karmic connections, whether um, voluntarily or involuntarily. Like me, I was forced into, back into a karmic connection, being amongst, dysfunctional family members. No, dysfunctional relatives. Okay? Let me rephrase myself, because my family members are, me and my sons and I. Okay? Okay, so, yeah. But these connections, they're not supposed to be lifelong connections. Like I said, there's no comfort, there's no Cancer frequency there. There's no Pisces frequency there. There's no comfortability, there's no peace of mind. None of that. As a matter of fact, there's so little water frequency. Those connections, they're the king of the not a king, the Knight of Cups frequency. Little love, and they'll never offer us, the love we need. I was watching a video on Oprah Winfrey, which I'm gonna put the link below. It was so inspirational, and it was titled "The One Person Oprah Couldn't Forgive," and it was in regards to her mother. And I resonate a lot with, Oprah's, with Oprah's life. Let me just say, she's a sun in Aquarius. I'm Aquarius sign. I'm a Aquarius trine. I'm not a sun in Aquarius, but I've got Aquarius highly aspected. Okay, I'm an Aquarius North Node. Okay, 12th house in Aquarius, Aquarius Moon. Okay, so I've got Aquarius very highly aspected. And people's got their sun frequency in Aquarius. The sun is detriment there. But the truth is, they experience lessons, hardships, Saturn lessons, that really, not really hardens them, but it makes them skeptical of opening up to people. A lot of rejections, specifically Sun in Aquarius and like Aquarius North Node, for a fact. And that's why we are humanitarians, we're activists. Okay? And I resonate, with a lot of her, earlier experiences and not in detail for detail, but in regards to rejection and stuff like that. And there was this aspect, this part of the video, where there was TD Jakes. I don't deal with these preachers, but I gotta say, he does speak from a philosophical perspective in a very well-rounded manner. I'm gonna say that. I am not Christian. I don't believe in these preachers, but I'm giving on to Caesar what you want to him. Philosophically, he's okay. Let me say that. Okay? And it's not the only first statement he made that really, grabbed me emotionally, but he said, I'm gonna just paraphrase, it was like, a lot of times we come across people who they only got pine size capacity. They only got that pine size love. I'm just paraphrasing, not word for word. And a lot of times we need a whole gallon. Okay? He was subconsciously referring to karmic lovers. And these lovers, I'm not, restricting the word lovers to sexual relations or intimacy. I'm talking about people in general who comes around us and who, we form some form of bond, even if, lightly, or relationship with, even if briefly. And those are karmic people. And sometimes these people are parents or siblings, aunties, uncles, cousins, neighbors, people who should have been our friends, peers, colleagues, associates, employers, supervisors, managers, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends. Now that's coming to a sexual, because we know boyfriend, girlfriend, that's a, general term. Doesn't have to be sexual, but in this sense, I'm speaking in a sexual sense. Okay? Same gender or opposite, doesn't really matter. Because some people, they become homo. I'm going to talk about that in another video. Because they didn't heal. They didn't heal the pain that they suffered from dealing with people from the opposite gender. And they think that they're going to get their justice from the same gender, and it doesn't work out that way. You still come across the same energies, but in different bodies. We're going to talk about that. Not everybody who's homosexual. I'm saying some people. Like, for example, RAPE, some RAPE victims. There's this PTSD that they develop in dealing with the opposite sex because of what they experienced, not necessarily dealing with them, but how, they were dealt with by the opposite sex. But we gotta accept that some people, it will never be enough, and those are karmics. Sometimes you gotta accept, you gotta psychoanalyze, like I said, not just inside of you, but around you, including all the people and elements around you, people are elements as well, elements of Gaia. You gotta introspect, and you gotta be very observant. I said that in a video I did last night. Be very introspective. I don't think it was a video I scrapped. Introspective of yourself, which is introspecting, which is observing yourself, but observant, which is a broader word for the entire space around you, in and around you. I gotta clear my throat. Dispelling toxins from my body. Okay. Alright, gotta clear my throat. Dispelling toxins from my body. Okay. So, these ex-spouses, these ex-lovers, these ex-friends, these ex-associates, this ex job. This job that you just decided you were going to leave this job. But all of a sudden, wham, as Saturn went retro in Aqua, you decided, you know what, I'm going to stay. And you realize after staying, this shit just was a horrible idea, as, we traverse the frequencies of Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. Okay, so these karmic connections, I never thought I would, speak this long. I never, think to myself, I'm ever going to speak that long. But as I, start to speak, the words, they keep flowing. I want to also say this. Speak your truth. Because a lot of times when you do, I heard Joshua crying. He's just being a brat. Oh, he's just being a naughty little boy. So that's why you gotta listen to these boys, these two. Why is Joshua? Let me confirm. Why is Joshua crying?
Because
Come again? His tablet is dead and he's crying like that?
Yeah.
I know it was in regards to some tablets. See what I told you. You hear him crying? Anyways, Papi, don't make too much noise, alright? Yeah. So, yeah, karmic connections. I got a bit thrown off with, his crying, his tantrum. That's just a temper tantrum. No shit. Yeah, that's what's going on. There's some temper tantrum shit going on. That's why you gotta calm down and listen, and not get all hysterical, So, these karmic connections, he's so super sensitive because he's an empath as well, and, I'm not gonna tell him he's a brat, but, I just, I just said that, but he's just really super sensitive, and that's just how it is. I was told I cried a lot when I was a little girl. I would cry for almost everything. In terms of like every little thing would just, make me get me emotional. I don't mean like I would see that toy and cry for it. I don't mean like that. I mean I would just cry at a drop of a hat.
House getting worked.
Getting worked on. And it's just his frequencies and energy. So, anyway, so yes, these Papa, please don't make too much noise, please. So these karmic connections now, yeah. So a lot of people realizing, this connection, whether it's with relatives, family members, lovers, friends, associates, co-workers, employers, jobs, location. It's just gonna always be the same thing. It's just gonna always be the same thing. It's never gonna change. If you are in an abusive relationship, they're not gonna change. You don't make any sense. Like if they do change, that's good. That's good for them, man. But that's not for you to take them back. Because whilst they may have a different connection with somebody else, they'll always have the same connection with you. And that's what people need to understand where karmic connections are concerned. People, they have a whole different relationship with other people. But guess what? There's only one type of relationship you can have with them. And so it is. You got people, couples trying to procreate, can just never procreate. The minute they break apart, the woman gets pregnant for another man. The man, knocks up some other woman. Why do you think that is? Their karma is just that they are just not gonna ever procreate together. And if they do decide to go back together, you think they're gonna procreate? Nah. Because it's just not meant for them to merge energies and frequencies together. It's just not. Okay? And so you gotta, pay attention to the lessons. School's in session. Learn your lessons. Okay? School of Hard Knocks Life. Karmic Connections. Namaste.